Hi everybody, I'm back for another video. I'm here to review Bill and Ted Bogus Journey. It's the second movie of the Bill and Ted series, of the Bill and Ted trilogy. Yes, there is a third one, and I'm going to do a video about it shortly. I just got a new phone. It looks nice. Yeah, so, yeah, Bill and Ted 2, Bogus Journey. Amiable slackers and Bill, played by Alex Winter, and Ted, Keanu Reeves, are once again roped into a fantastical adventure when the Nomalos, played by Joss Ackland, a villain from the future, sends evil robot duplicates of the two lads to Bill and Ted, but the two are determined to escape the afterlife, challenging the Grim Reaper, played by William Sadler, very funny character, to a series of games in order to return to the land of the living. So their goal is basically um, some villain from the future sending, you know, the evil versions of Bill and Ted, right? And doing whatever they can to ruin their lives, to ruin their plan, and supposedly they wanted to kill them, which is a little too dark for a comedy movie. Um, yeah, it has the same stars. Has a cheerfully wacky sense of humor. You know, this movie is a little different. This is a little different compared to the first one. It's not much of a time travel type movie anymore. It's basically some couple of evil robots, evil versions of themselves, trying to trying to kill the original, trying to kill Bill and Ted, so that they can end their lives once and for all and do whatever they want after taking their lives. I mean, I could have thought I saw a full movie of them falling to hell. I mean, Bill and Ted are surprisingly a good team to use to tell a story about life, death, and inevitably, also, it is a delightful destruction homage to Ingmar Bergman's The Seventh Seal. This movie is still a very funny sequel that keeps the humor fresh by going in a wildly different direction than the original. The movie has a very creative set design for both heaven and hell. The movie pays great homage to the Seventh Seal when they befriend the Grim Reaper and play Battleship with him. I love the disturbing look robot faces of the replicas peeling their fake skin off. I can't believe that Missy divorced Bill's dad and is now married to Ted's dad, which is something weird. But the evil Bill and Ted robots are very funny, either how affably and petty evil they are. Like how casually they murdered Bill and Ted, the said sign of hell is great, and the personal fear torture chambers were hilariously creepy. Death is a very funny and likable character. The only downsides are the princesses are just thankless damsels and prizes this time. Thankfully, the rest of the movie is great. The climax of the concert um, audition is a lot of fun. This is a very unique and creative sequel that's just as funny as the original. Just not better, but it's funny. It's still as funny as the original. It is the best movie back in the '90s, even though as for 1991, it still felt like the '80s kind of. 1991 still felt like the late '80s, so it wasn't 100% '90s yet, culturally. That's from what I've seen in this movie, though. I was a little disappointed in this movie with that, you know, that basically. Well, I'm not that disappointed, but just not that. I'm just not that satisfied with it. maybe they took some things that they had in the original movie that I liked, but they had to make something different for a sequel. Uh, there are a lot of problems in the sequel. Certain subplots dragging for a long while. Scenes tend to overstay their welcome, and character decisions feel a bit off. I could be a result of the different director. I can't believe the president of the United States for both Iron Man 3 and Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. is actually the Green Reaper. Yeah, Excellent Adventure was a good. This one was way weirder, but the metal is way heavier. Everything's just way more evil in general. Surprisingly, an entertaining sequel. The journey had a lot going on. The absolute no. What am I saying? I don't get the hate for this movie at all, even though it's not as great as the first one. But I don't get the hate of this film at all. I love its humor and style. It's Bill and Ted movie I watch the most. Yeah, the only thing I didn't like about this movie is that there was like nearly no time travel. It was very disappointing. No time travel in this movie. We absolutely love the Melvins. That made our tone with it. Even though it's still insanely cheesy without losing too much charm. But the second Bill and Ted has like the same appeal as the first, except this time it goes to hell instead of the past. All ages admitted, like the funniest 1 hour 38 minutes ever. You know, Bogus Journey was an amazing film, despite its different story. I just watched it this past week, so it is super fresh in my mind. Bill and Ted 2 was known not as good as the first Bill and Ted, one of my favorite movies, but it was really good. Bill and Ted 2 was like a really funny comedy. Guess what? I enjoy comedy if done right. Also, something else I love is how Bill and Ted 2 has like the same type of humor as the first one. Bill and Ted 2 was like always very interesting. My favorite characters were either Bill, Ted, or Evil Bill and Ted. My least favorite characters are either the two stations or the good clones of Bill and Ted. Yeah, what an amazing, unique movie. I gave it 73% or much higher than that. It should be a bit above 80%. Half of the film is great. Bill and Ted's journey to heaven and hell, their interactions with death, Ted possessing his dad. Alas, the rest of the film is clunky. The final battle of the band's showdown did not really hold up well at all. The sequel was like actually more imaginative and intricate than its procedure, and the comedy is arguably as strong, if not maybe stronger, than the first film, due to some serious fast-paced dialogue and excellent performances. However, beyond that, I would say that this is ultimately inferior to the first one, and largely this is because of the central concept. It tries to largely keep the tone of the original for like the most part, but then adds a much darker side. The kind of thing worked wonders for Empire Strikes Back, but feels off with Bill and Ted. Additionally, adding heaven and hell being real and Bill and Ted's universe does draw in some unnecessary existential complexity that is very uneven with the sweet simplicity of the first movie. And honestly, I'm not sure if the addition of such a thing is actually a good thing. However, at the very least, the philosophical connotations are not simply explored or pondered, but rather just exist to help the story move forward. But fortunately, I mean, unfortunately, the hell bit in particular is actually very effective and interesting. Seriously, the personal hell um, bits could work great in a completely serious horror film. The Grim Reaper is also quite fun and is used to very good comedic effect, as well as gets to play an actual part in the history. He is somewhat imposing at first, but then becomes a source of dry humor in a movie that's otherwise very free flowing, acting as a great counterbalance to the rest of everything. This is all culminates in a climax that is good. I suppose it's not really very satisfying as this movie went out of its way to give us an actual villain, something the first movie did not have whatsoever. And his demise is done within a minute or two. However, the final showdown against the evil Bill and Ted robots is actually pretty damn satisfying. And on that subject, the evil Bill and Ted robots and their interactions with Bill and Ted, our or their world, is quite possibly the most fun of the movie gets. Bill and Ted technically double billed as the heroes, and the secondary villains is great. And the performances of the two leads is very bit as good as before. For years, I didn't care for this movie, but after rewatching it today, I actually found out I actually found that once you get past the somewhat cringe first 30 minutes, which in themselves have some serious good jokes, then the movie is actually surprisingly engaging and has aged well for the most part. If you love the first one, the sequel is worth seeing at least once, since elements of it play into the third one, and I recommend if you have some free time and access to it. This is a darker movie than the first one, but in a way, I'd say that it works in its favor. It explores Bill and Ted's minds more, and by the end of the movie, I felt they had grown more as characters. It's definitely worth watching even if it can't live up to the quality of the first adventure. Just not like the first one, but great in its own right. You know, that's what I'm saying. Yeah, so this movie is still not maybe not as original as the first, but it's still watchable. You know, just give it a chance. You know. And in that note, I'm actually done with this video. Let me know what you guys think. This is my review for Bill and Ted Bogus Journey. I will be doing the review of the third movie soon, so stay tuned for that. Anyways, peace out, guys.